and Garen, the opponent team will be able to pick their main champions, and they can get some real practice. Like that was something I read for Faker earlier.
Interesting. I always find it interesting to kind of get a look into the mindset of pro players here. But looking into the mindset of these teams here, we got four-legged wonders on both sides. We got Hercarim coming in for JDG as their first pick. Lillia was picked up for OMG for Aki. And then Renekton makes it through for this game.
Yep, and JDG Gaming, they're thinking about this. This could be a trap.
This is so spoopy. Come on, it could be a trap, but come on, man. I've seen this dude pop off so many times.
I don't think Yagao necessarily cares about the trap, though. That's kind of the issue. He's gonna have no regards for that one. Just locking that in. I think this is sort of an issue of pride for Yagao. He's like, yeah, I just saw your LeBlanc technical counter, but you know what? I'm still gonna lock this in regardless. I need to keep that threat level up because in the playoffs prior, JDG Gaming has always had sort of that first pick Zoe threat in their pocket. They always want people to respect that, and against a team like OMG, they want to prove that, hey, it doesn't matter if you have the counter, I will still play it.
And, pulling some of the pieces away from OMG from the first game, saying, you took these before and I'm going to take them this time around. The Gragas had come through for JDG, but your exclamation says it all, Clement. We get the Yone coming in for OMG.
I love this one. This is one of those champions that actually has a very, very good time at countering out Zoe. So what you could do is you want to go in with the E, and once Zoe pops the Sleepy Trouble bubble on you, you can actually cleanse the effect by going back. And then you go back, you have the Q3 and the ultimate to go in again. So the trade sequence is you want to trade your Soul Unbound for the portal jump, and then you have both the Q3 and the ultimate to just finish the Zoe off. You can actually cleanse the sleep and the drowsiness away. So this is one of the few solo queue picks that has a very good time against Zoe, and I've been waiting a long time in the LPL for this to work out. I like OMG's draft so far. They basically have crowd control set up for Aki to be their main carry, and we've been hyping this youngster up. Aki is kind of their pseudo carry in a lot of their games, and they have perfect setup and counter picks here to go alongside.
And I want to dive into these bans here because OMG taking away a lot of Loken's picks. They've got 3 ADC bans for themselves as well. On JDG's side, they take away a lot of Cold's picks. They take the Rakan, his Alistar that we were saying we wanted to see this time around. The Ezreal is actually the pickup for Kane. So a little bit of safety, a little bit of damage, a little bit of poke there coming out from OMG. And you see the smorgasbord of picks available to Loken. And I wonder what this kind of matchup is going to look like now that we've got a lot of strong pieces for OMG across the board.
Yeah, they still have a chance to go for a tanky frontliner, so they can still play for this. They can still play for a pretty standard sort of front-to-back composition on JDG Gaming's side. I love the bans from OMG. They recognize that JDG Gaming in the past, one of their strongest compositions has just been with poke comps. We have seen Loken just go with the lethality Varus already in some of these games, so they're going to make sure that you don't get Zoe plus Varus on the same comp. That's pretty much their best comp. In the meantime, OMG trying to counter out with a lot of potential AoE crowd control. I'm not sure that Seraphine really can be a pick here just because the Sett threat is so high from them. So probably just going to go with the more standard one. It would have been cool to see, but OMG do have a very good sort of poke setup as well. They do have to send Leona or Yone in first, and they do have a good follow-up, but this isn't really a front-to-back composition whatsoever. This is much more of a skirmishing comp. You want the first kill off of the combo coming in from Yone, and then you want to clean that up with all the rest of the pieces.
Which, I'm not going to lie, gets me a little worried after what we saw in game number 1. But hey, if OMG can get the lead again early on Aki, he can try and get Wuming ahead on this Yone and transition the late game with Cold and Kane being these established pieces at least for themselves. The only thing is, like, you look across the board, you look at the comfort grabbed up by JDG, you also look at, obviously Yagao on the Zoe, but the bot lane, Aphelios and Sett, like that team fight, that late game is going to be so scary.
It is. JDG Gaming have a lot more different ways to play out their composition. In my eyes, they have 2 lanes that will naturally win out later as the game goes on into the later phases.
Yeah.
Aphelios should get the push over Ezreal. That same thing will happen towards Gragas into the top side. And I think the defining moment for OMG is really when you get that level 6 on Yone and Wuming, if they can pull off the combo. That's where they need to snowball. They don't exactly have a great early phase pre-6 against the enemy team composition. So it all really comes down to that first gank, Lillia plus Yone, if they can pull off the Fate-sealed combo and get the early kill onto Yagao.
That's what you're hoping to find here, trying to set down that Zoe, at least in the mid lane, and get this Yone ahead, because a lot of the times you're looking at these solo lanes, you're looking at these carries, you've even got the Renekton in the top lane against Zoom, who we said and talked about a little bit is a huge piece to JDG and something that's a little bit hard to handle, but you've got the Renekton, you've got the pieces available to you. Can OMG bring us to a game number 3, or do JDG finish it out strong and slam home the 2-0 victory? We'll find out soon.
Not gonna lie, I'm secretly cheering for OMG. We are at the end of the split, and there's been rumors flying everywhere that we might be seeing Mystic. This is the last series that JD Gaming had.
Yeah.
And it actually throws like a lot of mind games into the opponents for playoffs if you suddenly just pull out a Mystic. It's like, yes, Mystic could be playing, and he looks great.
That's the craziest thing is we got a little bit of potential as we were coming into this one that maybe he was going to be coming in, but yeah, unfortunately not just yet. So maybe if OMG can push us through 3 games, we'll see JDG whip it out. But we'll see how that works out. Getting a lot of skirmishing early and getting a bit of a later invade from OMG on the bot side. They might have gotten in some trouble here. Kane was split from the rest of his team. He's going to get soloed out by Yagao here. And that's first blood already to JDG. Things are not turning out how you wanted them to, OMG. But Wuming trying to find his first kill will get that one as he's going to shut down Kanavi. Cold getting caught here too, though. That's going to be 2 kills ending up on JDG's side as LvMao gets his own.
A bit of a disastrous start there, and I'm so surprised that no one actually checked the back brush. They had the War Hunter red buff, but no one checked that brush, and Kane just walked forward into a bunch of damage. That was very unfortunate for the rookie AD carry.
He won't make that mistake again.
I mean,
he's like, guys, next
Ezreal,
time.
It really isn't that hard to check the brush. You have that mystic shot. They just didn't do it, so it's kind of a weird play from OMG. They wanted to get the late invade, get the jump onto their opponent, but just not checking the brush.
Clement, you know,
kind of weird.
you said it though. Yone needs a kill early. He got one. It's fine, right? Like we're on the track. We're good.
Yeah, I also want to tell you, though, he lost the flash, and Yagao also got a kill and an assist. I believe.
I don't know what you're talking about. That's shenanigans. That's slander. I don't know.
Yeah, he got forward, but relatively speaking, it was 2 steps back. Let's be honest here.
Yeah,
I'm not sure that's actually going to pan out for him. And taking a look at the jungles, this also has a huge effect here. I want to see if, because Lillia went super low, but both of them were actually able to clear out. Kanavi just outright died, so we're gonna see if that has a big impact here. It's gonna look like LvMao trying to position. Can you get the face breaker onto
Why are you so mean?
Oh, he gets it.
Why are you so mean? He gets the face breaker from the blue buff into the stun on Aki while Kanavi is running up there to get the engage. They get the kill, and JDG are gonna force the TP now out of New, and he's coming into a 1v4, but can he turn around? His health bar is not gonna be very high, and they get a couple trade kills. We've got the carousel continuing to turn right now, and JDG have found even more. Yagao's just gonna chase down Cold. You'll see Kane getting chased down here as well. The Gravitum stun comes out, the root at least, and that is another kill. 4 minutes in, Clement, 9 kills on the board.
Blood for the blood god. This is your LPL Fiesta game that you absolutely love. OMG just going in a little bit too, I felt like it was a little bit ham-fisted. They're already losing 1 member. And then everyone from JD Gaming just collapsed it. New went really far in to get the kill onto Kanavi, but honestly Kanavi was super low health at that point already, and they sort of traded 1 back without losing much. In the flip side, you have to take a look at Yagao at this point. I don't even think the counter picks matters anymore. Yagao with one-shot combo.
I told you.
You told me what? What did you tell me earlier?
Yagao Zoe is too strong, man. You can't give it to him. He should have banned it away.
Well, OMG had the counter pick. I felt like it made sense, but the skirmishing potential from JDG Gaming is too high.
It's best laid plans of mice and men or something along those lines. Aki just going for a bit of an aggressive play, trying to get some chicky nuggies, but they are closed and not taking any business at the moment. LvMao is caught, but he's going to use that huge shield from the Facebreaker to get out from that one. Kanavi was making a trip top lane just to let Zoom know that he hasn't forgotten about him. And JDG still with the tempo up, still with about a 2K gold lead right now, just over 5 minutes, 5.5 so to speak.
Yeah, the kill distribution, though, is very unfavorable against OMG.
Yes, it is.
Whenever you see Yagao this far ahead, you typically will see him go for the max penetration build already. He has 18 on the Sork boots. He's probably running... he's probably going to go for the Luden's Tempest as well, so that's even more to boot. And he can just kind of roam across the map at this point. I don't think Umi can even take one combo from Yagao at this point, so that sort of invalidates the entire sort of Yone counter pick. And yeah, we're just gonna, this game's just gonna be about where Yagao wants to go from now on out, and I just expect Kanavi to set up both sides of the river. Kanavi's only job right now is to make sure Yagao is unseen when he leaves the mid lane.
Something of very, at least I'm keeping my eyes on right now, is the fact that, you know, Aki has been trying to find farm in his lane, hasn't found any. He's down. Now Kanavi's back on the rift, back getting ganks, and Cold's going to go down here on the bot side. And that is just meaning that JDG pushing up this tempo, keeping this lead in their favor, and keeping the ball in their court, and constantly pushing up against Aki means that he has no room to help any of these lanes. He can't even get ahead himself.
Yeah, but they are going to try to make a cross-map play here. Kane is 100% dead. I'm not even going to use any summoners right there. There's no point in it. The main thing is, can OMG find something still back onto this top lane? Looks like Zoom had a great cask. Two members.
Oh my god, the casket.
Oh, yeah, the casket. True. That's a good way to put it. You know, OMG can pretty much lie in that barrel and be lowered into the ground by now.
Oh man, yeah, it's really unfortunate when you put all the resources that you have, knowing that your bot lane is getting dove, knowing that you're getting further behind on Kane on this Ezreal, who's 0-3 right now, and not able to get the response on the other side while you're committing so many pieces up there. You did get Zoom's flash just now though, as he tried to step up into the lane and knew wasn't having that one, but still, you're not able to get that huge advantage. You're not able to get that big gold advantage for yourself in that play, and you give over the dragon to JDG.
This is pretty funny. This is basically Zoom saying that, okay, your top lane dive, that was a one-time deal. I don't even care about this flash. I need to get this minion wave, okay? So stop pestering me. Please get out of my way. Move. Renekton, I have somewhere to be. So this is basically Zoom just knowing that with how far ahead mid lane is, that repeat gank is not going to come from the top side. He doesn't even need that flash.
Yeah, it's just a little bit of a mini flex there, if you will, by Zoom up in the top lane. And that is just so troublesome at this moment, right? Because Yagao has free reign in the mid lane. He's got 4 kills on himself. He has the Seeker's Arm Guard. He has a little bit of that penetration. He has a little bit of that damage. And right now, I would be looking for JDG to up that tempo even more and go for a Rift Herald at some point soon.
Yeah, they could definitely do that after they chip down this bot lane tower. As we were talking about, very hard for the Ezreal to get any wave control in this bottom side.
And now Aki... again! He can't get his own jungle. It's so unfortunate.
It's just so sad to actually see at this point. But they actually have a very good combo at this point. Wuming's already in, and here we go.
There's the Fate Unsealed into the backline. They have the combo there, but that base breaker is going to be huge to reset the damage. There's the Moonlight Vigil. There's the AoE, and Yagao gets his 5th kill. Could he go for more? Doesn't get the full damage on Aki, but it doesn't matter. The mental advantage, the confidence is gained by JDG.
I'm actually really surprised that the Lilting Lullaby wasn't used at all from Aki. Usually you want to follow up, like, if you're already gonna pop the combo, you might as well go all in and try to see what you can get from it. That was a 3-man Fate Sealed, so it wasn't actually bad for Wuming at all, but Aki just did not elect to follow up on that one.
Yeah, I was kind of wondering. I mean, I guess to an extent, like you maybe don't expect the follow-up to be there, so why use it? But I haven't actually seen him be able to get a good Loken lullaby off so far. And it's been a lot of chaotic fights, right? So maybe that he's just like waiting for the right moment. But if you're always waiting, when's that moment gonna come, Clement?
Yeah, I definitely expected Aki to at least flash Q Lilting Lullaby there. If you get the 3-man Fate Sealed, you might as well be going all in. But they're just gonna hand over their entire bot side. Okay, I still want to see what Wuming can do there. We're going to take another look. Maybe he was caught up by crowd control. Oh, it was a Sleepy Trouble bubble.
Yeah.
Wow, that was a huge
so
win
bad.
from Yagao. Ooh, okay. Aki, you are absolved. That was just an outplay by Yagao.
Your sins are forgiven here. So that will be hopefully getting another chance to that engagement and not getting Sleepy Trouble bubbled next time. But gotta watch out in those positionings and in those key moments. You know, those little plays mean so much. Although it is OMG, speaking of meaning much, taking this Rift Herald.
All right, they are here first, so they should be able to get this one. The question really is about the getaway. It's a 4v5 for JDG Gaming in the top. They don't want to throw away their lead, giving over 610 gold to Loken. I think they're pretty happy with that exchange.
Honestly, I'm fine with that one. If you're on JDG's side, you're giving the Aphelios even more guns than he already has. They do immediately use the Rift Herald top lane, though. The casket's going to come out by a little bit of time for Zoom, but it is going to be getting this charge off. Not necessarily going to get the full tower, though. They have committed bot lane up here for OMG, though, but it is going to be the Rift Herald dying before it's able to get its target in that tower. And still, it's just one tower advantage for JDG and a lot more to go their way.
Yeah, and we are seeing the rotation in. It's on just in time, so Loken will be able to pick up this wave, but OMG are setting up a bit of a bait here. Kane and Cold are still there. I think Loken, with how safe he plays, is probably not going to fall for that one.
Thought maybe they were going to try to go for a little something to try and stop the backs, but no, he's just going for the wave, trying to get this second tower down. They've still got 2 minutes till the tower plates fall as well, and that's going to be even more gold for Loken.
Yeah, and that's a huge discrepancy. You definitely pay for those tempo plays if you don't find the pick. Loken entertaining them by walking a little bit closer, but look at that crescendum stripping down the tower. I want to see how many plates that Loken has already. Just the gold from
insane
objectives must be over 1K at this point.
I mean, that is crazy. That is almost 2 full towers worth of plates being given over to this Aphelios. Talk about 200 years, man. He's got a lot of gold to go with that 200 years, and he's looking for that.
Oh, here's the combo.
Tower, at least. Yeah, they get the Fate Sealed here onto Yagao. Yagao's got a lot of damage back. The tower shot. Oh, but the True Shot Barrage is going to shut him down. So at least Kane can bring something back from the grave for OMG.
Oh, that was a little bit painful to see. You cannot control where Fate Seal ended up. You will always go max distance, and that carried him directly underneath the mid lane tower. So a bit unfortunate there.
Oh, no.
Now Kane's going to feel the pain.
Oh, the quick... Okay. All right, JDG. That was overkill. He sandwiched Kane in between 2 ultis. Now you've got LvMao getting caught. He's got the TP coming in from Wuming. Can he survive a little bit longer? No longer going to have any of those tools, though, and Wuming going to take the kill. So Yone gets his second of the game.
Yeah, still a decent find, and we do have to mention that that was a pretty big shutdown. Going over to... I kind of felt like... Did Cold get that kill?
Kane got the kill, at least on the Yagao with the shutdown.
Okay. Yeah, Kane did get the kill with the... With the Arcane.
Which feels really good, at least at this moment for the Ezreal, you know, able to finish that Essence Reaver, able to get a little bit further in the build, because it's been a really hard time for Kane right now.
Yeah, it's at least some good.
Oh my god, don't look at the plates. Don't look at him, Clement. Don't look at them.
Oh wow, that was nearly full
there's
plates.
a lot.
That is that definitely hurts, you know, almost 1,200 gold just from the plates. Now Zoom's gonna have a fun time against Wuming. He should be able to bully out Wuming at this point. your only chance of getting through tanks is really just popping that E and trying to get some of that true damage afterwards. Now JD Gaming just snowballing all cylinders, 6,000 gold ahead. They get an uncontested second Drake as well, so OMG have to answer really soon.
It's looking a lot like last game in the fact that JDG are just holding dominance over the map at the moment, like being able to take these objectives, be able to have their vision game pressed up into the enemy jungle like they did in game number 1. And the other thing is these gold differences. You already talked a little bit about the totality of it. You know, about 6,000 gold in the lead right now for JDG, but it's the single advantages, especially Yagao, especially Kanavi, who have found huge moments for themselves, and then Loken, shoring it up with a gigantic ADC lead with this Aphelios, with this hyper carry.
Yep, Loken himself carries about 2,000 gold of the lead here, and it's absolutely massive as we see him ending up onto the second item really quickly. It usually is gonna be the Runan's Hurricane, where you can just proc the Severin Onslaught onto a couple more targets, keeps their lifesteal up, a lot safer. And right now they're trying to get a pick on the back. Solar Flare goes down.
Yeah, they got LvMao here. He's going to showstopper cold right into the back line there. But that's the Moonlight Vigil. And Yagao. Oh my god, Aki's almost dead just from the paddle star. Nu goes in all by himself just to try to get the rest of his team out. It will end up in his death, but the rest of OMG do look like they're going to be able to make it out. Not if Zoom has anything to say about it. He had Casket available, but didn't want to pull the trigger on that one. Yagao looking for the sniper headshots right now, but JDG just pressing up even more.
Yeah, it was kind of funny to see OMG holding on to their
Kane.
flashes. Now Kanavi's going to try
No,
to
Kane! No! Oh, Kanavi chased him down. I thought he was going to make it out. He had some quick moves. He had a nice little arcade shift, but they have too many tools available to them.
Welcome to the LPL, Kane. He did come over from the LDL team of OMG. Just try to sub out. And I do like they're giving youngsters a new chance here on OMG. We did talk about them having a developmental roster, so we're going to see a lot of these sort of swaps in the last game of the LPL. But let's take a look at the situation here. Once again, I feel like the MVP here has to be LvMao. Getting such a nice face breaker, just stalling until Yagao can come over here. And just look at the positions that OMG are flashing. It was kind of funny because I expected Yagao to be able to pick up a lot of flashes right here, but they actually flashed a little bit towards the left side of the wall there, and making sure Yagao had to go some extra distance to get those resets. And now Nu is going to find actually a bit of a 2v1.
Yeah, Cold right here waiting, just kind of buying some time. Maybe not wanting to fully go in for the 2v1 there, but I just think it's interesting because OMG were the ones that pulled the trigger on that fight. Now they're pulling the trigger on this one too. Zoom gonna get the nice belly pump. Does still get Zenith Blade, but he gets out with no harm done.
Oh, he doesn't even take much damage right there. It's kind of depressing to watch as not even able to stop him. Zenith Blade canceled out by the body slam. And he's just gonna walk away while JD Gaming get a Herald and a top lane tower for their troubles in the bottom side.
Really rough. Cresting 18 minutes now, just under 10,000 gold in the lead. Luckily, OMG have been able to find a little bit of pressure on the bot side for themselves. They are going to get that the second tower that they've gotten in this game, but it's all about, you know, not letting these inhib towers go down next. You've got a lot of pressure in the mid lane from JDG. Yagao is unstoppable right now, even though he's only already died once. He's still this Zoe, he's still this poke, and we've been seeing the health bars for OMG just can't deal with it. They're like, no way, I don't want that one, send it back. But JDG in totality right now have just been so good at pressing exactly where they need to.
Yeah, and I do expect JD Gaming to actually just start to chase targets away from the Baron side as they get behind them. Goodbye,
Aki has no chance. There's no way. It was nice. It was fun to know ya. As Cold is going to be trounced on, gets both ultis again. I just love it because they're on the same page. Kanavi and Loken using the sandwich ultis with the Onslaught of Shadows and the Moonlight Vigil, but it will be another kill going over to JDG. They've taken down 2 members of OMG now, and they are looking at this middle lane.
Oh, the map movements were so beautiful from JD Gaming. They actually just predicted that someone would be checking Baron at that point, so they all go into the enemy jungle. Kane still has the cleanse. He's going to have to use that one. I expect JD Gaming to be able to take the inhibitor, and they probably are going to turn around for the Drake at this point. I'm not sure if they're going to be looking to challenge records here. The OMG still have the Wombo combo. There's still a little bit of fight in here, but JD Gaming are feeling frisky.
I mean, you'd have to end it the next about 20 seconds or so, see if they can do it. There's one tower gone, but that's going to be the engage from OMG. Do they have what it takes to buy the time? They already got the Aphelios. They got what they came for. They're starting to take this fight against JDG, but does the re-engage matter here? Yagao with a lot of damage onto Cold. Now the health bars are starting to even up, and Kanavi is going to get the kill there onto Cold. They aren't going to get the fastest game, but they could go for even more here as they are 18-6 over that 10K gold lead for JDG.
Going for the flashy pay rather than the safe one. This is what I love about JD Gaming. Sometimes they don't always just play, you know, the textbook standard style of macro. They will try to go for blood. And that was a little bit unfortunate for OMG. They could have got a much better Fate Sealed. Fate Sealed Wuming only landed on one target there, and even then, that was still enough for them to finish off Loken. So, a bit of a missed opportunity there. I definitely feel like JD Gaming gave them a shot, but they weren't able to stack up correctly with their AoE, and JD Gaming still walk away relatively unscathed.
They do, and they walk away a dragon stronger as they're going to be picking up that third dragon of the game, Soul Point, as we do dive into this fight, Clement.
Yeah, so, Fate Seal
doesn't actually get anybody
flashed away. They go all in onto Loken, but they really need a little bit more from that full combo. Once again, Aki a little bit slow with joining the Lilting Lullaby. I wasn't paying attention if he was zone off or not this time, but it's more of a defensive disengaged Lilting Lullaby at this point. So they trade most of their Wombo combo for just one kill onto Loken. However, they do get double summoners off of him, so maybe they can replicate that same success again and drag this game a bit forward.
I'm trying to see how far they can bring it, especially as get the True Shot Barrage across here just to check out the jungle. Make sure Kane isn't going to be face checking any more bushes. I thought he was maybe going to get jumped on there by Kanavi, as that's been one of the biggest things right now, is I feel like JDG have been able to get OMG caught off guard when they're getting the backs in. But you see JDG, their goal is set. They want the mid lane. They want to take down this last Nexus tower. They want to end the game. And Wuming is already out of the fight. That's a huge Fate Seal that's going to bring him into defensive place. Moonlight Vigil comes across, but Loken is still free hitting right now. JDG are looking to get this series over with as they're going to take this last fight. New getting a big amount of healing in the middle of everybody. They actually are going to turn this one around. JDG overextend themselves, going under towers, Yagao, and that's a kill to Wuming.
A 4-for-1 trade when it had started out with a backwards Fate Sealed? Oh, JD Gaming just tried to throw everything at them, and OMG still found themselves back into the fountain. They threw so much at Aki just for that single kill, and now they're actually going to give over Baron. But the pings are coming down. JD Gaming know that they have wards into the base. Zoom could try and finish this off himself.
Okay, he's going to TP into the Baron fight. Not going for the spicy play this time, but could be going to disrupt some of the Baron take here by OMG.
He still has that.
Scary. He's got a 1v4 in front of him right now, and he ain't scared. See what he can do. That's going to be the Baron going over. New gets it, actually. Not going to be smitten away by Aki. But LvMao has found Cold, and that's going to be a kill going over. So they get one in return, and actually, they're going to catch out Wuming. So that's another big piece for OMG off the table, off of the Baron buff, and JDG going right back to where they were a few moments ago, Clement.
I know I have said this before this game, but this should be game. This should be game if JD Gaming do not try to chase for every single kill. New is going to pop Dominance very early, and he's going straight for Aphelios.
He gets immediately showstopper and everything used on top of him. This has to be the fight that JDG take. That had JDG win with LvMao getting very low. There's the main front line at the moment, though. Aki's down. LvMao actually goes down for JDG. You see the auto attacks coming down the Nexus. Oh my god, Aki's dead. and now you still have Loken, you still have Yagao, you still have Kanavi, and this is going to be a hell of a send-off for JDG. Their last in certain moments for OMG in that game, in both games especially. And Aki, I felt like had some great performances himself in game number 1, starting off strong on the Hercarim, but it just didn't all come together, and that's where we do look forward to that growth and development by OMG.
Yeah, OMG, for me, I think they have found Aki a starting position. He's definitely going to be the central piece that this team builds around.
Yeah.
For the bottom lane, Eric, not exactly having the strongest of splits, relatively speaking to other AD carries, but he was still pretty serviceable. And what I think OMG are just going to strive for in the next split is definitely go for another top laner. I think that's going to be like the long-term project for OMG. Wuming, he has shown himself capable in some metas, just not the slow control Meiji ones. If they can avoid those metas, then I think he can still be played. He has been very well known for his Zoe play and especially for his Galio play. So they can probably still keep him on and test that out. But for OMG, summer split, try to find a serviceable top lane, try to be able to play a bit more skirmishy, and try to understand how to play sort of skirmish compositions. I think that's going to be their goal moving forward.
Yeah, and I wanted to see maybe a little bit more of that that mid lane supportive role come through for Wuming with Aki, trying to get that ahead, but not going to happen this time around. Hopefully in the future. But that means that JDG take home a quick victory in their last week, having dominated OMG now, having dominated a lot of the competition. Moving forward, Clement, like they have a lot to be proud of this season.
Yeah, JD Gaming, they started off relatively weak. They were swapping in players left and right, trying to see if Xia or Yagao fit. And finally, after, I believe, week 3, they just settle on Yagao for the entirety of the way. And it's a bit of a, I don't expect it to happen, but I just want to mention this as a technical possibility. They could still have Xia and Mystic sub in for the for playoffs. We don't know what has happened with those players this entire split. They've been very tight-lipped about that, so it's going to be interesting to kind of ponder the possibilities. But the most important thing, I think, for JD Gaming these 2 weeks has been their showcase of their flex picks. Zoom has been very interesting in that his sort of blind pick go-to has actually been the Gragas. That is a flex pick between him and LvMao, and also he has the Sett, which is a 3-way flex picks for this team. They're willing to play into the top lane. We have seen it in the LCS show up already, even some Blade of the Ruin King builds against tanks like the Scion or the Ornn. So I think for JD Gaming, they've actually been giving themselves a bit of leeway. They have been more about just flexing their muscles in the last 2 weeks and kind of showcasing how many different picks they can go to. It's going to be hell drafting against them.
I was going to say, giving some teams things to be scared about going into the playoffs, things to worry about going into the games especially. And I will just throw out a little caveat. Loken, just saying, we don't need Mystic. We got me. I'm carrying on Aphelios here. We don't need Mystic. He doesn't need to start. He's fine. But I really like the performance coming out of the bot lane from JDG this time around, where we did put a lot of focus down there for OMG, right? This was a big point for them to have success, and a lot of their success has come through the bot lane. And for JDG just to play around that fact and play towards that fact is just showing even more of themselves.
Yeah, I feel like JDG recently, especially after 11.5, has been trending more towards early aggression. We have been seeing teams sort of bifurcate, and it's really interesting to see. You can tell where teams want to go based on their Hercarim trade. Everyone agrees Hercarim's the best jungler. You just take the Hercarim if it's available, but afterwards you can kind of tell if teams are more skirmish-oriented or teamfight-oriented, if they go for the Udyr or if they go for the Lillia in response. And JD Gaming is the sort of team that will go for the Udyr. They are the skirmish-focused team. Yeah. I think they like to play a more active game in the early phases. And it seems a lot better for Yagao to be playing things like the Zoe, like the Sylas, like the Sett, rather than things like the Orianna and Victor. I think those champions, he can play them, but he doesn't look as comfortable. That's definitely not why you want to have Yagao on your roster anyway. Just giving him the flex, giving him his pocket picks early on, I think has been much more efficient for JD Gaming as a whole.
I think the Sylas in game number 1